Hello, good morning. I'm going to teach you how to make a lot of money. Let's do it. Hey, what's up? My name is Vena. I'm a real estate agent and now kind of investor here in Seattle, Washington. I have been a real estate agent since I was 18 and I found a lot of success in the last couple of years. I'm now 20 and now that I have a lot of money saved, I kind of decided that it's time to do something with it. Inflation is like 2% a year and your money's not going up sitting in the bank. So how can we put this in a safe investment where your money will grow and reward you and help you build that wealth? So where do we spend our time and put our money to start building wealth for your future, wealth for your kids, generational wealth that you can pass on to your children? If that's of interest to you, you're in the right place. Just keep watching this video. And if you wouldn't mind taking a second to like and subscribe, it would help my channel a lot. Let's get into it. So some background here. How the heck is a 20-year-old investing in real estate? How are these 19, 18, 17-year-olds investing in real estate? I don't know if you've seen them online, but they're out there. And they're making a lot of money. It definitely takes hustle, it takes an entrepreneur, it can take some time, and you're gonna wanna identify the people who can help you with this. But once you do that, you're off to the races. And to me, real estate investing is a lot of fun. It's fun looking at houses, it's fun figuring out how deals are gonna work, it's fun analyzing numbers. You don't really need to be that good at math or anything, like you have a calculator. But if you stick to it, and this is what I've found, that real estate investing is a lot of fun. Real estate is where I wanna put a lot of my money. I have some stocks and I played cryptocurrency for a while, but in my opinion and why I feel really comfortable is that real estate is very tangible. You can change the house to make it worth more. You can sell it really easily. And real estate market trends are quite predictable compared to stock market, cryptocurrency, etc. So I have some stock I'm holding long term, but I really am focusing on putting the majority of my money in real estate. I'm gonna share what I did to get started investing in real estate. I really started after I turned 20 and I had a couple years worth. First of all, I became a real estate agent when I was 18. Went into 19. At 19, I was really like full-time. I built momentum in my business and it was getting a lot easier. Like money as an agent, basically I'd grown my team, everything was becoming systemized. It was a really good time. And so I did make a good chunk of money and it's just been sitting here in the bank. So turned 20, I got to meet a lot of investors and wholesalers. I picked up a lot of books about investing. I figured out what the Bigger Pockets forum is and joined a bunch of Facebook groups in my area to kind of see what's going on, you know? And it was really fascinating to me. So there are three types. There's wholesale, there's flip, and there's BRRRR, basically. These are the three main real estate investment strategies, and buy and hold, but that's like basic. These are the three like most profitable, I would say, and most smart to kind of get your investment back. Because of course you can put 20% down on a rental property, you know, on a $100,000 house, that's $20,000. And for prices in Seattle, if you get a $500,000 house, that's a $100,000 down payment. Now I do not want to put $100,000 down on a house, so I'm going after these other strategies. The wholesale and the flip are good for making short-term money, but the BRRRR is where it's, because if you hit your numbers right, you can potentially get a fixer, fix it up, refinance, get your down payment back, and rent the thing out. If you want to get into investing, the books I read and that I found very, very helpful were Bigger Pockets book, something like How to Put No or Low Money Down on a House, and then BRRRR by David Green, and then the big book on rental property investing, that's Brandon Turner. Those would be like my top 3 investing books. They'll teach you everything you need. So basically, I wrote this down. There are like 4 phases that I kind of went through to get started investing in real estate. So number 1 was education and mindset. I already have a pretty strong mindset, I'm not gonna lie. From selling real estate, I'm already in this industry, so it was pretty simple to transfer over my skills. But if you don't have the skills, you need to educate yourself. You need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how these numbers work. So like I said, those 3 books will teach you the basics. And then you want to look up Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, even Tom Ferry's stuff is really good for sales skills. I have a whole list of all the books I love in my Linktree, and I have another video about my favorite books and why. There's a lot of good sales books in there. You can even find this stuff on YouTube, audiobooks, it's all out there. No shortage of sales skills material. It's very easy to find because sales is a very, very old industry. Mindset, you just need to be a hustler. I'm sorry. On my YouTube channel, I have a YouTube playlist. It's called like Get Your Shit Together or something. All my favorite motivational videos are in there. So you're welcome. Yay, we figured out step 1, education and mindset. So number 2 is you need a plan, and you might need some money depending on the investment strategy you want to do. So for me, and in Seattle, if you want to do the BRRRR method, you really need like $100 grand to put the down payment on initially. Like I said, you get that back later, but you need the capital to start the project. If the property and the rehab cost is only like 400 or 450, then it'd be like 80 to 90 grand. But you know, somewhere between 80 and 100 grand is what you need to do this kind of thing. And you can always partner with someone. You can borrow the money somewhere else as long as it pays off. You know, you have to educate yourself to learn how to do these numbers to figure out your best plan of action when you find a motivated seller who you can buy a property from. And with these 3 investment strategies, wholesaling, you don't really need any money to start at all. You can wholesale for free and make a lot of money doing it. The only problem with wholesaling is, like I said, it's short-term money and you're not really buying properties to hold. There's no wealth building there. It's just quick cash. So number 2 is the flip, and similar to the BRRRR, it's ideal to have 10 to 20% down. If you get like an FHA rehab loan, you only have to put 3.5% down. In general, if it's like a really, really torn down property and it won't qualify for any loan, then you're gonna need a hard money, and that's gonna be 20% out of your pocket. And then lastly, the BRRRR, you need 20% down to get approved for a hard money loan and do that kind of project. The other thing I'd mention about these is that flip and wholesale, it's easy to do with a partner because it's short term and you're not necessarily buying property together, you're just doing the project. And you can take on financial only partner, you can take on a partner who has interest in the property, like a legal right to the property, you buy it together. And if the profit's like 100 grand, you split it, you make 50 grand each. I personally am interested in just buying properties by myself so that things don't get messy with a partner. Especially as a new investor, I would be open to buying a property with someone else as long as the numbers were right and they can bring a lot of value in terms of teaching me how to go through the processes. So we've got our plan, and how do you know which is which? Well, first of all, we have to find the deal first. So let's talk about how to find deals. Now, this is the hard part, and this is where people quit, and this is where people feel like investing doesn't work or something, I don't know. They get excuses. There are a few very popular ways to find deals, and if you read the books that I mentioned, they'll teach you all about them. But basically, you can send out postcards and mailers, you can door knock with flyers, you can cold call, and you can send out texts, and you can use social media. These are the most popular ways to find off-market deals. And it's really important to find deals off the market because very rarely do good deals hit the MLS, especially because nationwide, we're in a very competitive seller's market. This means that just about every single listing that comes onto the market is going into a bidding war and selling high above what the seller is even asking for. And so for us as investors, if you have to pay high above list price, high above market value, there's no room for profit. For example, if you wholesale the property, that means you've got a property under contract for, let's say, $300,000, when in reality, if that person listed the property, they could get $350,000 on the market. They didn't list it because for whatever personal reason, they need to sell the house quickly and with very little hassle. So we solve their problem by giving them quick cash, $300,000, and that benefits us because we sell it to another buyer for $350,000 and we make $50,000 in between. Does that make sense? Same thing with the flip. Now, these are very distressed properties, right? So we got a rundown property for $300,000. Let's say it needs $50,000 worth of work, but it's going to be worth $450,000 when it's done. So we got a loan for $350,000, which is the purchase price on the rehab. We had to put $70,000 down because that's 20% to get a hard money loan. Fixed it up in 6 months, sold it for $450,000. We made $100,000 worth of profit. Good deal too. I'm not going to dive too deep into how to do every single lead source because you can find that all online on YouTube. Check out BiggerPockets YouTube channel. They've got a lot of good stuff. But for me, in my experience, I cold call, and I have found a lot of success with cold calling. It's my favorite thing to do because it's pretty simple. Like, you just sit there and talk to people as opposed to going out and door knocking. So I spend like 5 hours a week calling. That's it. I'll go for an hour at a time on, 4 or 5 days a week. I just talk to people about when they plan on moving, and I talk about this a lot in one of my recent videos about cold calling, so check that out. I call people up, I'm like, hey, my name's Vane, I'm a real estate investor here in Renton, just curious if you still own the property on 123 Banana Street. They'll be like, yeah, who are you? How can I help you? And then I'll be like, well, like I said, I'm an investor, I'm looking to buy some properties in the area, just curious when you plan on selling. And then it goes from there. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but I do go live on on TikTok, and I'm probably going to film some cold calling for YouTube so you guys can see what I do. That's how I find deals. The most important part of any of this is finding the deal. I do suggest working with a mentor if you can find someone to help you. You can meet people through Facebook groups, biggerpockets.com forums, networking events, investor meetups. Just Google it, find some events that are happening in your area. If you really can't find someone, then once you find a deal, you will find someone. That's the funny part. So for example, if you're wholesaling and you need a buyer for the property that you found way below market value, you just post that on one of your local investing groups and a lot of people are going to be interested. So not only will you likely find a buyer, but you can also offer to split the deal with someone in exchange for their mentorship or their training or their help, right? So that's kind of the basic. The most important part is finding the deal, and it gets easier after that. You can always DM me after you find a deal and you don't know what to do next. I'll help you out. But it is pretty important to know some people who know how to do this stuff. So that's all I think I can cover today in one video. This is really probably like a whole series. I am going to post more about my investing and the deals that I do, so stay tuned for that. Nonetheless, I appreciate you being here and sticking with. I really hope you took something away from this video and maybe this cleared things up about how you can start investing at a young age. If you have any questions, please let me know. My info is down below. Thanks again for watching and subscribing. I'll see you in the next video.